What up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos. Another episode, otro segmento de Hoy en Día TV. I am your host, Yesy Rodriguez, and we are here on another beautiful, lovely day. Hey, we are alive. We are well. We are kicking. So if you are hearing my voice, you are blessed already. All right, I'm going to bring on my co-host, Manny Morales. Welcome to the stage.
Bendiciones, bendiciones, mi gente. How's everybody going? Not going. How's everybody doing? Yeah, how's everybody doing? First of all, before anybody says anything, go Eagles, Eagles Nation. We are definitely in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, Kansas City's in there too, but they really don't count. So, we're definitely gonna win this Super Bowl this year. Definitely.
Okay.
And if y'all want some merch, DM me, because I have some. I even have Kansas City merch. So, DM me.
Well, it sounds like you're having a beautiful day in the neighborhood, sir.
Yeah. I even got the hats. Look.
Wepa. So they DM you, or is there a site that they can go to if they are interested in getting the merch?
I haven't put the site up yet, but Papi Chulo Creations is the page for my business, the Facebook page and Instagram as well. So they could follow me and DM me. I have all different sizes, different colors. Yeah.
Okay.
Different styles. So if they DM me, I could show them, the different styles that I got or whatever. So I could even make a hat. I made that.
Yeah, it's still winter time, so we definitely got to stay warm. Yes. But tell us, how are you today on this lovely day, Manny? ¿Cómo estás?
Great. I'm good. Not too much going on, just a normal Thursday, a lot going on, just business-wise. Work, of course, because we have to pay the bills. And then, just ramping up for this Super Bowl with the merch, and then, some side projects that I've been doing as far as custom stuff. So, yeah, then I'm writing the script for Love Is Our Magic, the trailer. I got a couple movies coming up here soon. I'm actually going to be in a commercial for, you remember, she's going to kill me, Kitchen Etiquette. Remember we had her on? Well, Carlos, the filmmaker, had like a raffle. Well, it wasn't really a raffle. It was just he posted, tagged two businesses, and I'm going to do a commercial for them. And he picked Kitchen Etiquette. I put her up there. So she wants me to do a portion of her, or I'm going to be in a portion of her commercial. So for the beard oil. So
great.
Yeah, it's exciting. Awesome. So
God.
Yeah, how about yourself? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Lovely. Good. Can't complain. Pushing forward, productive, staying focused, driven, ambitious. The whole shebang.
Right.
The whole shebang. Just nowadays, especially with all that we're seeing in the world and experiencing, we have to stay positive. I mean, yeah, it's easy to kind of get in our emotions and our feelings and feel bad, but what is really feeling bad going to do? Right. You have to think that mind over matter. And I get it. For a lot of people, it is easier said than done. Es más fácil de decirlo que hacerlo. Completely understandable. But that is a challenge that I send to our listeners and viewers today is if you're dealing with something difficult in your life, or even watching what we're dealing with today in our society, do your best to stay positive.
Right.
Do your best to see the positive side of the negative. Exactly. Right now, if you're at home, safe and sound, you're listening to us and watching us, that's a positive.
Yep.
Right now, if you have food to eat, you have a shelter, all the basic necessities, that's a positive. Right. There's so many other things. If you have people that that love you or that you love back, that's a positive.
Right. Exactly.
So let's start with thinking of the positive before we start dwelling in the negative. And I get it. It is easier said than done. And that is why I send this out as a challenge to our listeners and viewers.
Right. I used to say that all the time. It's easier said than done. But I feel like a person that easily gave up came up with that quote, because if you can stay consistent and you just train your mind to just push through and be consistent, you won't use that negative, you know, quote anymore. I just feel like it's negative. It's easier said than done. So you're kind of defeating yourself saying that, well, you know, it's easier said than done. You know, that's kind of negative. I could say it easy, but I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot harder to do it. It's not difficult.
Okay,
Nothing in
I
life
see
is
your point.
difficult. You know,
Yep.
so as long as you stay consistent and keep moving forward and don't let anything or anybody deter you from, you know, what you're trying to do, then it's just as easy saying it as it is doing it. Will it take a little longer? Of course.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
But as long as you stay consistent and remove any negativity from your life, whether it be a person, place, or thing, you know, you move forward, you know, and stay positive throughout the whole thing. So,
So let me ask you this, Manny, and I'm glad you shared that. Anytime that you feel like you're feeling yourself getting into a funk, because that happens to me periodically,
mhm,
what are
right,
some of the things that you do or tools or techniques that you use to help you kind of lift yourself back up,
right,
especially when you really don't have anybody to kind of talk to or let it out to or feel like they may not even understand?
all right. Well, especially for me, I mean, I talk to my mom, but she's all the way in Puerto Rico, so it's like, you know, I could talk to her about some things, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just me here. So what I do is when I feel like, you know, I'm getting down or things are becoming overwhelming, I just
Mhm.
think about the last time that I was really overwhelmed and remember that it didn't last and I came through and I'm okay. I'm here. I've, you know, gone further and um I've turned things around. I made things positive instead of, you know, staying negative. So um, I just tell myself, you know, as long as you stay consistent, stay consistent, stay consistent, you know, and don't think negatively. And remember, you were just, you know, down and out a little while ago, but you made it through.
Mhm.
You made a
Right.
way, so you could do it. So a lot of people feel like, well, here we go again. Well, no, because you've been through it. This is just whether, you know, you call it the devil, you call it negative energy. It's just something that's opposing you because everything is going to oppose you in the world. It's how you deal with it and what you do to move forward. Uh, so,
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Something that I do is
oh, there she goes. So, Bright Eyes said, I start my day thinking about all the things I'm grateful for. A lot of people don't even have a home, clean water, food, or clothing. So, I am so grateful for everything that I have. That is definitely true. I also think about that. I I mean that's perfect. Like that's the perfect way to start your day because there are people out there that don't um have anything. Like they're on the street and I pass, you know, them periodically and I'm like I could be that person, you know, but I chose to pursue my dream and be somebody, you know. And I'm not saying that those people weren't anybody, but they gave up on life and I just felt like I feel like I didn't give up and I'm proud of myself for it. So you got to be proud of the little things that you do no matter what. Like when I started this journey, you know, I was people would be like, "Yo, those are, you know, awesome designs or you're doing, you know, great and you're just progressing." And it's like I hear it and I'm like, "Yeah." In my mind it's like, you know, you don't see it in that you know light because one, I'm an artist and artists are always they're critical to each other themselves. So it's like I'm like, yeah, but lately I was like, you know what? You need to be proud of the stuff that you've done because you've come a long way, you know? So lately I've actually, you know, developed took that mentality and started using it on a daily basis. And that kind of keeps me focused and being consistent. So thank you for that, Bright Eyes Hawkins.
yeah, shout out to Bright Eyes
Yes.
Hawkins. So something that I do, Manny, is I take a step back And depending on like the environment that I'm in, so let's say if I'm inside the house, I go by the door and I open the door and I step outside for like 5 to 10 seconds and I take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of inhale the energy and close my eyes and just feel the sunlight. Because sometimes what I've noticed, and I've read this and heard this from people too, is sometimes we get into a funk because we might be deprived from the sun energy or the vitamin D.
That is true.
And so kind of stepping outside and kind of absorbing the external elements, leaving the environment that you're in and kind of, changing a little bit, inhaling, breathing. And when you're breathing, breathe it slow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, releasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're getting oxygen in your brain, right? And it helps recalibrate you. In addition to that, what I do is I found some really great motivational audios on YouTube that I listen to as well. And those are the I am affirmations. So I am amazing. I am powerful. I am this, I am that. And sometimes you hearing it in yourself, it helps you recalibrate yourself as well, because we as human, we deal with a lot of things and sometimes we forget how amazing we are. And sometimes even if you are that person that you have to remind yourself, that's okay. Remind yourself how wonderful, how amazing, how everything that you can think of yourself, you are. And not saying that you have to be cocky, right? But being confident about who you are and what you do, what you offer to the world, because we are all unique. We're all beautiful. We all have amazing traits and aspects that we can offer to each other, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bright eyes. She says, yes, indeed. Be proud of the little things as well as be up to the big accomplishments. Absolutely.
Yes, you definitely have to be proud of the things that you do. And at one point in my life, I wasn't like, I always felt like things were going to get bad again. You know what I'm saying? Like always having that negative, it's good for right now, but something's going to happen. And something always happens. It's just the way that you deal with it. You don't let it bother you, and you just continue to be consistent and move forward against that, negative energy, and eventually that negative energy will go away. It's not easy to adapt that mentality because it took me years, but it can be done. You just have to want it bad enough, and you just have to know in your heart that you are meant for something great, and you're a great person, so.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, Maddie, how the mindset you used to think something's going to happen. Have you heard of the power of manifestation?
Exactly. And that's why I changed my mental state, because every time I think something's going to happen, it happens. So it's like I'm manifesting my own downfall, So I had to change my mentality. And since I've changed my mentality, I'm not saying that bad things don't happen, but I know how to maneuver around them, you know what I'm saying? And not let it get me to a point where it's like, I don't want to do anything anymore now,
Absolutely. And for those who may not be familiar or aware of the power of manifestation, in a nutshell, it just means that you're creating something or turning something from an idea into a reality.
Right.
And so the word manifestation generally means using our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to bring something to our physical reality.
Right.
So that means that if you continue to think negative, then unfortunately you're going to continue to get negative because you're manifesting that, right? Exactly. However, if you change your mindset and you think positive, then that's where you're going to start attracting positive things in your life. Again, manifesting positive versus manifesting the negative. Right. So just power of manifestation. All right, Manny. So our world is interesting, to say the least. I call it una telenovela, soap opera. The soap opera shenanigans of the United States of America and the world, and in general, because I mean, at this point, the whole world is just a big old soap opera to me. But with that in mind, let's start with. I just want to send my prayers and condolences to those that were affected in the collision yesterday between a passenger jet and Army helicopter.
Yes, definitely prayers to their family, because that. I mean, there's always conspiracy theorists, but at the end of the day, people lost their lives. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to take a moment to think about those people that aren't here anymore, and in that thought, you can appreciate your life because you're still here. They're gone. They can't come. Well, I mean, depending on if you believe in reincarnation, but they're not going to come back the same person that they were. So, just, putting thought into that and taking a moment and just putting that into reality, like they're not here anymore and you're still here. So you're obviously here for a reason, So
Right.
at one point, I was like, why am I still here? And then I finally realized, I'm here for a reason. And, this is my reason. Hoy en día TV.
Right. That's right. Oh, yeah. This is our reason. Praise
Yes,
God,
yes,
using us
definitely
as
our reason.
vessels. Yes. And for those who may not be familiar or may not have heard of what happened, so unfortunately, an American Airlines plane with 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board collided with a military helicopter near Washington, D.C. yesterday, Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, plunging into the Potomac River. And so it is believed that all individuals at this point are deceased. So,
Right.
yes.
Man, everybody died. Black Hawk, the people in the Black Hawk military, and just everybody died, and I heard it was, I think they told me it was some gymnasts or it was some athletes from a different country coming to do something. And it's just tragic. How does that happen? Like, how does that happen?
Right. So sad. That's
like
horrible.
I said, conspiracy theorists, it could have been planned, but
We don't know.
right.
Yeah, this. I mean, we really don't know. Only God knows. But I will say this: I believe in a higher being, and I know that whoever, if that was the case, if somebody did try to orchestrate that negative energy and negative karma is unfortunately going to come back to them. So
Exactly.
that's just how it is.
Exactly.
That's just how life is. When you do bad from a karmatic standpoint, bad's going to come back to you. When you do good comes back to you. And that's why I always encourage people, try to be your best positive human self and do good for others. Treat people the way you would want to be treated, because you just never know.
Exactly.
And so with that, treating people how they want to be treated, what about ICE? Woo! Right.
As just like we were talking off camera, people are just, they're walking around with their passports now, and it makes it, and I understand, it makes it a little bit easier so they won't get so hassled so much, but it's like, to be in America and have the rights that you have, and then feel like, because you speak a foreign language or are different culture than Americans, you're going to be harassed, and it's legal, and they have the right to do it, per the government, the new government that we have. And it's just not right, because we're all Americans. I mean, there are some people that are here illegally, but for the most part, there's a lot of people that they've been harassing that either got their citizenship or are Americans,
Right.
And it's just, I shouldn't have to walk around with my passport. Bad enough I have a smartphone that I can't leave at home because I don't know anybody's number. And, it's just, I can't leave a home without it. It's everything, you know what I'm saying? And, just everything that you have to carry. And now I have to remember a passport. And then if I lose it, I got to pay for another one. It's just, it's tragic. Like, that's why I don't go anywhere. I go to work and come home. That's it.
And honestly, that's probably the best bet, to be safe and sound in tu casa at home,
Right,
because
exactly.
it's crazy. And I'm glad you brought up passports, because that was going to be one of the main things I was going to encourage our listeners and audience is, if you're not already traveling with a passport, please do so. Like, I travel with my passport everywhere, even if I'm here locally, because that's just something I've always had, like, within me, programmed in me, just to carry it for identity purposes. But now I realize that was for a reason. God put that thought in me for a reason, because now we're dealing with all the shenanigans we are with deportation.
Right.
So right now I am looking at the website for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's ICE.gov, and it does indicate, now I don't know how true this is, but because I've heard stories. However, individuals that are currently being detained are those who participate in criminal acts, are considered a threat to public safety, and violate their visa. And so those are the individuals being targeted at this point. Now, it's interesting because I came across a article, LatinTimes.com, as published as of yesterday at 2:57 p.m., where it says teen immigrant faces deportation after getting into a fight with her kid brother over a cell phone. Really? So this teenager, she just turned 18 years old. She is out from Lynn, Massachusetts, and now she's facing deportation because ICE considered her as a threat to the public because she was fighting with her 12-year-old brother over a cell phone.
But is she an American? Like,
well, she is from Nicaragua.
But she has her citizenship.
No, it doesn't. I don't believe so, because
she's
considered. It's saying that she's facing deportation, which tells me she doesn't have her citizenship. But I bring this up to say this: our families just have to be careful. Whoever is out here illegally, right? You don't have your papers or DACA or what have you. Just be very careful that even a simple fight that your kids may bring that attention to you.
Right. Exactly.
In a nutshell is why I was sharing that story. So just be mindful that every little action is being observed. Right. So yeah.
I just feel like a lot of people that come here from different countries, some people come because the devastation in their country is so far beyond their control, they can't survive. Right. And they have no choice but to come here. But a lot of people that come here believe in that American dream that they were sold. And then they get here and they're like, where's the American dream? And it's sad that, they come with high hopes of bettering their lives and they're stuck, they might be on welfare or, looking for a job. They get their citizenship and it's like, they're just like us, they got to scrounge and fight to just get by,
right. Yeah.
And then they have it worse because they're from a different country. So sometimes some of them, depending on how long they've been here or how long they were in their country, their culture is ingrained in them. So it's like they try to adapt to the American way, but it's so negative that it's like they don't know what to do. It's right. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my heartfelt thoughts and prayers go out to those families affected.
Yes. Definitely.
Everything's going to work out. And always remember, if you do believe in a higher being, that there's a God. I believe in God. So God's got you.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, Manny. So it is time for us to pivot over to a positive. Woo-woo, positive. We're going to bring on our special guest in just a few seconds. So this amazing guest we have is founder of Here2GiveH.O.P.E, which is great because in light of our conversations we had, we definitely need some hope in this world.
We need some hope. Yes, we do.
So as a proud 40-year-old Black woman who also is classified as a disabled woman and a business owner, which is great, she's balancing motherhood, artistry, entrepreneurship, and she's learned how to turn life's challenges into a legacy of resilience and purpose. So back in 2016, our guest founded her business Here2GiveH.O.P.E with a mission to help others find deeper meaning. And by 2024, she's gained over 100 individuals towards personal alignment. And so in 2024, her passion for modeling reignited when she was cast in a Summer Daze Fashion Show. And she debuted her copper crystal jewelry line, Dainty Fairy Designs.
Nice.
So she was scouted by Eric Romello of Taylor Model Development. Shout out to Eric, dear friend of mine. Christina's career skyrocketed, and she's since graced 10 plus runways, including New York Fashion Week, and appeared in 2 magazines, one internationally recognized. And in 2025, this year, her designs will be featured in 3 runway shows, further cementing her reputation as a bold and creative force to be reckoned with. Yes.
Nice.
So she's known for her magnetic presence and community-minded spirit. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on our special guest, Miss Christina Caldwell. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, bienvenidos. I love your jewelry.
Oh, thank you. I did a little costume change.
I see. Because you didn't look like that at first. Wait, are you an Eagles fan or Kansas City?
You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that.
Before we go there, okay. I just want to say I'm super excited to be here. And I don't know who wrote that, but that was amazing.
Right.
Like, that was, I feel I am here to help. I really am.
Right.
And I'm super excited to be here. And Manny, no, I am not an Eagles fan. However, my father is a huge Eagles fan. We're all in a group chat, me and him and my brothers. And all I see is Eagles attire and buy me number 56 or 26 for my birthday. Like, it's all Eagles. And so I just send funny gifs to make them go at war.
I'll accept it. Tell Pops I said go Eagles. We bleed green all day.
That's funny. I don't know, but those Eagles, I mean, those Kansas fans, years ago, when I was living in New York, I was hanging out with a bunch of college people from Kansas City, and that's woo. I see the war. I understand. Okay, I understand. I really do.
And just the fact that they have our old head coach, it just makes it even worse. You know, Andy Reid was with the Philadelphia Eagles for over a decade.
Wow.
He went to Kansas City. Right.
Wow. That's a fun fact that most probably don't know.
Exactly. So it's more than skin deep with that one. Right.
So Manny, let me ask you this. How many games did the Eagles win under that head coach that transferred over?
I have no clue. I don't get to watch the games. Like I'd be so busy. But my friend Nita Blake, that she's watching, she watches football, although she's a Commanders fan. So we're gonna go watch the Super Bowl, and she has to wear a Philadelphia Eagles shirt because we beat the Commanders. So
okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was
family
asking.
are Commanders fans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I was asking because I was trying
area.
to analyze, like, depending on how many. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I was trying to analyze, like, the coach being under the Philadelphia Eagles, depending on how many games he wins, could really help us determine how many games he may win under Kansas. So.
Right. Well, I believe he took us to the Super Bowl with McNabb. He's been with the Philadelphia Eagles since I can remember, you know. And I thought he was going to quit. He went to Kansas City. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting Super Bowl playing.
Well, maybe he just needed to, like, because if he was there for so long, you know, maybe he just needed to transition and then transition to a really, really good other team, you know?
It was the money.
I mean,
it was the money. Yeah. Money talks.
Okay.
Every time.
In the words of Rihanna, B better have my money.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God, I love Rihanna. I saw her one day when I was going to a concert many years ago in her little, like, black SUV going to the back of the concert thingy, like in the passenger seat. I was like, oh, Rihanna. The best memory ever. She has no idea. She never saw me.
Right. Well, if she watches this, she's gonna. Aww.
Yes, Rihanna, come watch the show. Come watch the show.
Absolutely. So, Miss Caldwell, we are so excited to have you on.
Yes.
I love your personality, very vibrant. Yes, I love it. You fit right in
Oh,
here with us.
Yes,
Perfect.
I do.
So, tell us,
you
who is Miss Caldwell? Who is Miss Christina
Yes.
Caldwell?
okay? Well, first of all, there's a train coming, so if you can hear the train,
Actually, I can't.
let me
You got a
know.
good
Okay.
microphone. I can't hear the train.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I am a 40-year-old mom who I'm, first of all, I'm excited because I was backstage listening to everything that you guys are talking about. And I was like, did they do this on purpose? Are they talking about this on purpose? Because they know that this is like who I am and what
Mm-hmm.
I embody and what I like emit. Like, do they know everything that you said in the beginning is who I am. I call myself the energy alchemist,
Mm-hmm.
because we all have like this, but we have this, we have more control than we think we do. Us humans try to control the wrong things, the
Right.
physical things. And
Mm-hmm.
when we get to a soul level, then we can understand to actually control in energy and for good. I mean, you can do it for evil and all that fun stuff and bad stuff rather, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
everyone is different. But for me, it's like, no, we have a way of understanding how what the energy, how it's flowing, and being able to flow with that energy. They say to save yourself in a riptide is to find the flow of the riptide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like life. Is just kind of like find the flow, get your flow so you can get out, so you can still survive and get out and do the things that you need to do. But
Right.
I also I'm an Oracle tarot reader. That's my
Mm.
niche. That is my purpose. Like I love to help people get a deeper understanding and a sense of validation and clarity when they're in a rut, when they're stuck, when they don't
Mm-hmm.
know what to do. Like you guys said in the beginning, like that's literally what I do in my day-to-day life is to help people get out of whatever that stuckness is. And I absolutely love it. I haven't had like the most perfect life, but it's okay
Mm-hmm.
because I at a certain point I started to understand how to choose me and how to choose alignment, how to choose God, how to choose the things that I'm hearing that actually connect and bring joy
Right.
for me
Right.
and not all that other stuff. So I'm an Aries, so at the same time, I'm quick to be like, oh, this energy, ill, that bye, I'm gone, and continue to move on and to go to something higher.
Right.
And so that's kind of who I am in a nutshell. I make jewelry. I started that a few years ago, probably in like 2019, and that was really fun. I didn't have any plans to be in like this status at all. It's
Right.
very humbling. It's super fun. Manny, I totally understood what you were saying. Like, as an artist, like we this is just what we do sometimes when we're just bored, but for some reason people gravitate towards these things. And I started wearing my own, I was just wearing my own pieces and people would want to buy it off of me. I've
Mm-hmm.
sold pieces off of my neck, and so I'm like, okay, this is this is
Right.
pretty, I don't know if I
Exactly.
can curse, but this is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
you're good.
Oh,
Definitely.
great. That's amazing because my tagline is like, I help people ship their shit.
Right.
Like
Right.
that's my tagline. Like whatever
Mm-hmm.
your shit is, it's energy. It's a bullcrap job. It's a bullcrap relationship. It's you in your own mind self sabotaging. It's
Mm-hmm.
a bad relationship with your kid or even your dog. Like literally, it doesn't even matter. Whatever your shit is, it's your shit, and I
Right.
will help you move through that. Figure out how to move through that and stay out of that.
Right.
So I really do enjoy that. I feel like I was rambling, but I do that
No,
too.
you're
That's
good.
I'm a rambler.
Good. You're good. Yeah, we
But yeah,
so the reason why we do sound check is to create this what we're doing now. How the show just came about and you felt like it was, everything that we were talking about was connecting to you. This is the energy that we bring into the show. You know what I'm saying? once we create that vibe, we bring it into the show, and the show just does itself. We just talk. Me and Yessie just talk. The energy is there, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
every time we have a guest, it's the energy just fucking directs us into the conversation that we need to speak for that guest.
I love it, because like everything is so with purpose, and like you said earlier that and I'm gonna sum it up to what I keep saying, because I'll even write sticky notes and put it on in little businesses and little places whenever I have the opportunity. I'm like, you can take it down if you want, but at least I put it there. And one place still has it up, so I think that's actually kind of cool. But it's like, remember when it did work. That's it. Just remember when it did, because it always does work. You just have to remember when it did, sit and embody that feeling, and push forward. Take action. Don't whine about it. Don't sulk in it, you know? And it is hard for people to really get into that mindset, because we're not taught that.
Right. And I'm going to kind of take it really further back. So, back in the slavery days, the masters wanted to keep the slaves in check, and they wanted to make sure that they knew their place in life. So they would talk down to them. They would beat their, you know, if they were married, they beat their significant other right next to them, and then, you know, make them go, you know, out into the field or cook in the kitchen or whatever they had to do. And they would talk down to them. You're nothing. You're, you know, this is what you're worth, you know. And as natural nurturers, the women were, because I heard this on a video this lady was talking about, and it just made sense. The slave masters would do that more to the women to make sure that they knew their place, and they would keep them in a negative light. And as natural nurturers, the mother would kind of be like, you know, nurture their children to be aware and weary of, you know, not stepping out of their place, you know. And that's why a lot of people think negatively, because that's what we were taught by, you know, our parents or our mothers, because that's what it's just handed down, you know. And it's just difficult to, you know, break that curse, you know. And just like Christianity, you know, you could be a spiritual person without having to, you know, devote yourself to a denomination or have to go to a church, or, you know, you could just go to a coffee shop and fellowship with people that you know, that like-minded people. Why do you have to go to a church, you know? And then churches are more judgmental than anybody else, you know? So it's like, there's some churches that you got to dress to the nines, or they're talking about you, you know? So.
I totally.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember a really bad experience when I first moved to North Carolina, and there was a church that I was attending at that time, until it came to a point where the pastor was saying how they were dealing with financial situations, right? And literally during the service, this pastor was calling out different families that he knew had money, and said, "Family X, I need $10,000 from you. Family Y, I need $5,000 from you. Family A, I need $20,000." I'm like, and I was thinking, I was like, what's going on right now? Like, since when does this happen? Like, I was so confused. Like, why is the pastor calling out these families? And two, why are these people even following that? Like, that's not the whole meaning of church at all. Like, I was confused. So after that, I was like, you know what? Let me leave, because this is not filling one, my spirit, and two, this is all bad. Like, I need to go. And so, yeah, so I agree with you when you say the whole spirituality. And I think that's the scary part about a lot of people, is that because we're in this, well, I'll say most people are what's called the hamster wheel effect. That's what I call it, the hamster wheel effect, because they learn from their past generations. And at one point, is somebody going to be courageous enough to get off of the hamster wheel to say, F this, I'm tired. I am tired of running. Let's do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I told I don't know who's listening, but okay. So I was speaking to someone the other day, and they're a middle-aged person, and they're creating they're like kind of doing a really 360. They have children, and they're really taking a big leap of faith, if you will. And I'm all for it. I'm the person that's like, if you want to have validation that you quit your job for a reason, come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will cheer you on and be your cheerleader for quitting and choosing you and the things that actually bring you joy.
Right.
And because I worked since I was 17 until I was about 30. I had to have back surgery. So that's why I stopped working. My whole back went out and it was a whole mess. And I was able to like really shift my own shit in those moments because God sat me down and was like, "You're not listening. Just listen." And I had no choice but to listen in that moment. What else was I doing but sitting at home healing with this cast on my neck for weeks? And so they were so afraid of how they would be judged, which, that's a form of self-sabotage because obviously you're judging your own self if you're
Right.
afraid of judgment, you know?
Right.
And they're gonna be here for a little bit. And I said, "What are you worried about?" I was like, "First of all, we're a progressive household. I have
Mm-hmm.
told my 15-year-old, whatever you want to do, as long as it brings you joy, you're a good human, you show compassion, you're empathetic, you're a good friend, you show love. Like, I don't care, whatever it is. Like I just want you to make sure that you're following what your spirit is telling you to go towards, because
Right.
my spirit team isn't your spirit team. I can't tell you what you're supposed to be doing. I can only guide you into those things in the best way that I can, and help and create and curate you in your lifehood, your teenage and
Mm-hmm.
childhood rather, to be in a space of love and
Mm-hmm.
compassion. So you have something to relate those things with when you do get older and you're not in my presence anymore. Because she's, 3 years from now, I'm out. I mean,
Right.
she's out. No, I'm out. I'm out.
Right.
Like, I'm like, you're gonna have to come visit mommy. Like, I love
Mm-hmm.
you, but I have my own person too.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Right.
right. I'm glad you mentioned that, and just hearing your personality, just the way you speak, your poise, your etiquette. I appreciate it. You're amazing. Just listening to you, and I just really want to take it all the way to the beginning. Like, how did you get to this point where you started thinking this way? Like, how was your upbringing coming up, and then at what point did you decide to pivot to think how you think today?
That's a great question, Yessie. So my childhood was, in comparison to the stories and experiences I've heard from others, it was very bland. But
Okay.
for me, it was very traumatic. And, but it was also kind of like, I didn't do much. I was, I had my mother, she was born in New York City. She's a New
Mm-hmm.
Yorker. And my dad was born in Southside Chicago. They met military, got together, two city people, moved us to the boondocks when I was like 2. And I don't, it was an interesting lifestyle because I felt very country, but I also felt like there was hood inside me a
Right.
little bit.
Right.
It's in my DNA.
Right.
And they used to call me Ma because I always try to act like someone's mother, because I felt like I always understood certain things over other people. And when I would try to explain it, like we were talking about before we went live, when I would try to explain the things that I see and feel and like truly believe, my voice would be shut down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you're young. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, okay. So I just learned to like sit back and watch
Mm-hmm.
and observe. And then I started choosing me in a way when I was younger. and within my environment without having to be so depressed and feeling so stuck. So
Right.
I didn't even know that that's what I was doing and how that would
Mhm.
correlate to, when I got older. But segue from there, I lived it. It was interesting. It was interesting. I was the kind of student that was like, please don't call on me. I don't want to be heard. No, I'm in the back of the class, like with my
Mm-hmm.
head down, sweatshirt and sweatpants, and like super awkward. I had a body, and so I try to cover everything up all the time. And so it was very awkward. And then my mom passed away suddenly when I was
Sorry to hear
17.
that.
I was just starting my senior year in high school. So that was awkward,
Right.
needless to say. Like, that was a really weird moment for others. Like, I started to see how others treated me differently because my mother died.
Right.
And it made me like just understand, like, people are just going to be whoever they are, and we just have to be whoever we are. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
so like wanting to give. I'm so wanting to like whatever I need and whatever I can put it to the side. Whatever you need, I'll do it right now. I will help someone before I would help myself in the
Mm-hmm.
past.
Right.
So yeah. So then we kind of like segue out of there, and then I get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I get pregnant, and that's my daughter, Kayla. She's 15 now, and I then got into a interesting relationship. It's always the relationships, right? That really change us, right? That really help
Right.
shift our shit.
Exactly.
Even if it's platonic or if it's intimate, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
those are the ones I feel like God just puts in your face and is like, oh yeah, okay, watch, bet, my move. And it's like
Right.
we have no choice but to conform and be like, oh, become more aware, which is what I teach people, is to become more aware of what's actually happening around you. How is it
Mhm.
affecting you? How is it making you feel? Would
Right.
like just being more intentional and like conscious of what is going on around you, especially when you're in this phase of shifting. That's why people do a lot of journaling and all that fun stuff, like and writing things down and talking to therapists and all this stuff, because it's a help to process all that stuff out. Um,
Mhm.
so when my back went out, probably a couple years within that relationship, um, all of a sudden my back just went out. I'm at work laughing, boom, neck. I don't know, feels like I had whiplash. And I had no idea what was happening. I was a couple of weeks into getting married, didn't know what was happening. Coming to find out, I had a herniated disc and a bulging disc in my neck. And I had to have surgery like 6 months after that. And I had to quit my job basically and choose to live my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was just introduced to a MLM company in the travel industry at the time, and I knew like, okay, we don't really have a lot of money, but my husband at the time wanted to do it, and I was like, whatever. And come and find out, he hated it, and I loved it, and that really started to help me see that there's a community out there of people who think like me, who act like me. I went to this event at like 8 in the morning, and I'm bumping like 8 in the morning. I'm in the car. I was in Connecticut, and I'm just like going to Bridgeport. It's about like 45-minute drive. It's early. I didn't really want to go, but I committed because I said it. So I try to, do as I say I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, all right, I got to go into this lame ass little event in this hotel lobby. All right. I open up the door. Everybody's bumping. It is a whole live party in there. I was like, what in the world? I thought I had to be all studious. I was like, oh, okay, I can actually just be me. And
Right.
through that process, through those people, through that company, they shut down during COVID, but they're up now. But they truly helped me recognize, because it's about community. And I think you guys said something about that earlier in the beginning when you guys were first talking, like
Mm-hmm.
being able to be around people that understand. That's a community. you know, and a lot of us that on a scale of like life things, finances, and like how you could contribute, like how you give back, and your spirituality. Like there's this scale thingy that I do, and community and contribution is always the lowest one. Always. Most people say, no, I have my scale to that is very low. This is not really what I do. And what if, and that's what I help people see. That's what hope means. Help open people's eyes. I help them see where they can start to make the change so you can make instant change. Because wherever the lowest point, that's where you start. I mean, when you create a visualization for it, for some people, it really helps them understand, like, oh shit. And then when you are intentional with actually being in that position, God gives you anything you need at all times. You're always taken care of. You guys said something earlier about gratitude. Like gratitude, if you just wake up every day and all day, whatever the case may be, and just be grateful, express it. I just talked to this with a lot. Half of these things you guys talked about in the beginning, I've already had these conversations like these past 2 or 3 days. So that's why I'm like, it's blowing my mind, because I just had this conversation earlier today with one of my friends, and she's like, I noticed that ever since I've been more grateful out loud about the little things, everything has always been working out. And this is just within months. Imagine what you can obtain, all the abundance and riches that you can have when you create this habit for years.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Wow. Christina, mind-boggling. You are.
Yes.
We have some people saying that they love that analogy of hope. I actually love it too. That's pretty dope. So help open people's eyes. I love it. Yes.
It was God given. That wasn't me. I got to give him credit. I didn't, when I heard that, because I went through a very deep, like, all right, I'm going to have my own personal relationship with God. Like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be able to still my mind and my body in front of this person, my partner that I thought would be here forever, who is not liking the things that I'm doing. Doesn't like that I'm creating this personal relationship with God. What was I told? Who are you? You don't even go to church. What do you mean? I don't need to go to church to have my own personal relationship with God.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Someone else asked me one day, oh, where do you go to church? In my living room? In my bed? Right here? And when I'm taking when I'm in the bathroom?
You actually got a question from somebody. When I'm rinsing out my
body in the shower, like that's God is everywhere. What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
So I learned to like get in this deep meditative state of like, I can be here and you can be there and I won't be bothered. And then that's where I got my business symbol. And then that's where I got it's here to give hope. And I was like, what? I don't understand what that means. Whatever, but I'm going to write it down. I'm going to trust what you're saying. And I'm going to take action on what it is that you're saying.
Right.
So yeah.
Absolutely. So there is a question. It looks like it's coming from Alma. She's saying, how does your jewelry assist in healing?
Ooh. Oh, great question, Alma.
I knew you were gonna like it.
I knew it.
I was waiting for you to finish because I didn't want to interrupt you, but I knew you were gonna love this one.
Oh, it's okay. Interrupt, because I'm a rambler. Like we can be here talking till like midnight. Like seriously. I had an hour coaching call last night, and I was like, oh, it's an hour and 20 minutes. Like I think I have to respect your time. Like I have to get off. So each of first of all, copper in itself. So my pieces are made out of copper, and all handmade by these lovely fingers. And copper in itself is really healing because it gives like this like release of energy feeling. So you guys ever seen those copper wrist thingies, hand thingies you put on, and there's like made out of copper, but because it helps with inflammation and all that fun stuff. So why not just wear it around your body so it can do the same? Because with my spine surgery, I have I shouldn't even be moving the way that I am. I've had 2 surgeries here, and I have like artificial discs in my neck, and I shouldn't be here because of how people stay small. If that's the case, I'm like, no, I'm never gonna stay small. I'm always outside of the box, and then outside of the box. Actually, there's no fucking box.
Right, there you go.
There is no box. It's wide open. It's wide open. So
Yes. See?
yeah, and then so then I use crystals, all natural crystals. It's to my best ability, because sometimes you get things and people give you crap. So I've learned how to test to see if they're real crystals and stuff like that. So I use all different types of crystals to put in it, and when someone wants a personal piece, we'll have a conversation. I want to know how you want to feel. What do you want to shift? What do you want to receive? What do you want to let go of? Whatever the case may be, and I will create your piece specifically for that. And then we'll kind of go from there, like, because a lot of people don't really know what all the crystals do. So I don't want someone to be like, it's harder for someone to say, I want this or that, because they'll use common names like rose quartz or clear quartz. But in reality, there's so many different types of crystals that you may not know will actually help you way better than the things that you see as a fad on Etsy and all that fun stuff.
Right.
That's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. At what point in your life did you discover this gift that you have?
When I was going through that transition in 2016, it's when I recognized it. I didn't realize I was doing it before, because I was an office admin at this wastewater treatment center in DC. And I always loved working there, because I was like, ooh, we give the water to the president. Like, ooh, we're special. Like, I really loved working there. And I was working with security officers. It was fun. But I recognized there, because they used to call me Inspector Caruso, because they would give me a picture of somebody, stealing pins or whatever. And they would give me a picture, and like, it got to a point where they're like, did he do it or did he not do it? And then it became a game of like, how come Christina keeps seeing these things? And at the time, I'm like, because I'm just a good profiler. I wanted to work with Homeland Security. I wanted to do like all this forensic stuff, because I'm like, no, I'm just kind of like, I see it, and I don't know. I just see it, the shit. I don't know.
Right.
But then when God sat me down, and was like, all right, this is what you're going to be doing, looking at these readings. Because I always looked at readings for myself, kind of like looked it up, especially when I was younger, in the newspaper and stuff like that. Yeah, oh, God, who on here does not know what a newspaper is? Oh, jeez.
I know what a newspaper is. Manny, you know what a newspaper is.
Yeah,
no, not you guys, but like the watchers. Like,
man,
that's such a...
viewers, yeah.
Yeah, the viewers. That's such a... that's so... okay. And so I had this... I was kind of like practicing with like readings. I was in these groups on Facebook. This when Facebook was popular, and all these groups on Facebook were popular. It was when it was cool, and now it's not cool. Like, I'm an old millennial now at this point. But I would go in there and kind of just look in stuff and practice and see like, well, do I have something going on here? Like, maybe I can give a card, because someone gave me a deck. I don't even know. I don't remember, but I had a deck. I would use it. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And one day someone said, this is exactly what I needed to hear. This is the 3rd time that this exact card has come out. No, it wasn't a deck. It was an app. It was an app on my phone. This is the 3rd time this card has come out for me for the same question. Thank you so much. So for me, I was like, oh, I'm so powerful. Because like, how could you fathom? It's an app on the phone. And whoever else pulled cards for her, nobody knows them. Who are they? So for the fact that was able to happen, I really understood like energy is freaking real. Like, it doesn't matter if you're face to face. It doesn't matter if we're in the church. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if we're alive or not alive. It's the energy that matters. And let's
Right.
attach into the energy and get and become in alignment with the energy because it's guiding us. The moon phases are here for a reason. Like, come on. Like, we are all, anyways, I can go further. I get excited because if we just attach to that feeling, it feels so much better. The little things. I have had moments. I have no idea what I'm going to eat for dinner at all. But no one will be able, not even because I'm trying not to have it be seen, it's because that's not what I want to feel. If that makes any sense. Like that's not, we don't need to sit there in that feeling of I don't know. So anyway, so I segue back. I'm sorry.
No, you're
And
good. You're good.
I just went on live on Facebook one day because that really hyped me up. And I was like, screw it. Let me just go live and pull some cards through the app and see if people resonate and really see if this is working. And it was. It was working. And
Wow.
I was like, this is crazy. And I just had to learn how to trust more and more. That wasn't very easy because I would be hesitant to say certain things, and not believe certain things. But as I got more conditioned and more people and more one-on-ones, and then I had an office space and everyone, it was just like, this is it. Like, this is fun. Like, people will come in, they feel safe. That's a great feeling to feel safe. I know what it feels like not to feel safe,
Right.
so it's very important to create a safe space and a
Mm-hmm.
healing space. Like, even if you just came in, I tell people at some point, I told my consistent clients, like, you can just come in and just sit here. I don't care. Just let me know. I'll open the door. You just sit in the office. So, oh, y'all didn't let me know I was sideways.
Oh no, we can still see you. You're good. You
Yeah,
are
we're
good.
good.
So with Here to Give Hope, what does the business all entail? What services do you offer to your clients?
So the core of Here to Give Hope is coaching. I do spiritual coaching and
Hmm.
transformational coaching, which
Hmm.
I entail the readings through the coaching. And
Okay.
then and then I do um, just strictly readings, like Oracle and Tarot readings. I can just do that too if someone doesn't want an actual coach. And then I do my jewelry. Um, so let me see what else can clients. And I paint. I love to
Nice.
paint. I don't
Mm.
think I'm not a Picasso, but like we talked about, I think it was when we were offline. I don't remember. But like we said, like we're given this nudge and this vision for a reason. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to remember not to be so selfish and think that it's just all about us
Right.
because it's not. Because
Right.
sometimes we're doing things because someone else needs it or wants
Mm-hmm.
it or desires it. Like,
Right.
so I just go with the nudges. I just go with the nudges and I really enjoy it. It's really, really fun. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I do as for a client to come in. Some coaching, tarot readings, and my jewelry, pretty much.
Nice.
Okay. Awesome. Yes. Mandy, do you
Yeah.
have any questions for Ms. Caldwell?
No, it's amazing. Just the energy that I feel right now. Like it's an amazing show. Like
It
it
is
was meant to be.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love it.
I'm
Yes.
super excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. I mean,
That's
like
that.
Manny was saying earlier, this is what Oyandia is. The goal of Oyandia with each and every episode is to enlighten, educate, inspire, motivate, and entertain, of course, because we don't want to be boring, right? We want to be fun. Each
Hmm.
and every listener and viewer with every episode. And we are definitely doing that because I'm feeling it. Manny, do you feel it?
Yes, I definitely feel it.
Christina, do you feel it?
Woo!
Oh, yes, you got it over there. That means we are
Yes.
satisfying our mission. That is the mission. That
Yes.
is the goal of Oyandia TV. Because again, like I always say in past episodes, we are surrounded by negativity, but we're also surrounded by positivity. It is the way you
Hmm.
choose to look at life, right?
Exactly.
Get,
Exactly.
get rid of that
Yep.
negativity.
Hmm.
Time. It's time. If you were that person that always thinks negative or thinks, oh, well, this or well, that, nope, stop. Stop today. Today,
Yep.
tiene que parar eso hoy. Para eso hoy.
Yeah. It
Start
takes
thinking.
takes time and dedication to it, but it could be done. It could be done. I used to think negative all the time. Like I'd look at people and like a lot of people don't understand that I could read people's energies. Like I don't even need to speak to you, you know, and it's like I could just tell that you're either a negative person or you're, you know, a positive person and you got a good aura, you got a bad aura, you know, and people are like that's bullshit.
Yep.
But I could read people, you know, and it was just I was always negative, you know, and it took me a while, but it's working. It's definitely working, you know.
That's good. It
Yeah.
does take a while. It does take a long time to like first in general like recreate a new habit because to like to create your whole entire, if you will, your body, your
Mm-hmm.
physical body, your internal body, your subconscious body, let's just call that your ecosystem, right?
Right.
Your whole ecosystem has to readapt
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like yes, he said earlier, you have to recalibrate your mind, your thoughts, you know. So that takes time, and that's where I also love. Oh, maybe I should do something with that. That's fun. Oh, sorry, because because we talking about gratitude, and I was like, oh, another G word, grace. Like
Right.
being able to give yourself grace first to
Mm-hmm.
know what it feels like, to understand how it is actually affecting you. And then you can translate that in, or yeah, we can say translate it outside of you
Right.
to other people. And when they do certain things, which is a grace is a really good way. I'd rather say give someone grace rather than forgive them
Right.
because I
Right.
really feel like when you give grace, it's a whole different vibration
Right.
than saying
Right.
forgive. There's a lot more
Mm-hmm.
Right.
work that needs to be done, and it's really not that hard to
Right.
change a vibration. You just have to change your language.
Right. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
definitely agree. Like I feel like when people say, you know, can you forgive me or I'm gonna forgive you, I just feel like it has some negative connotation to it. You know, it's like I know you did something wrong and I'm never gonna forget, but you know, I'm gonna forgive you so we can just move on. And it's like that's just being negative. But like the word you just used,
Right.
grace,
But
it's
what if
like,
you
you
were to
know,
say, I'll never forgive you, but I can give you grace?
right. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Right.
Like say that. Like say that out
Food
loud.
for
Like how
thought.
does that feel? Like literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Food for
Definitely.
thought.
Yeah. I
Okay. I
can
like
never
that.
forgive you, but I'll give you grace. Like it just sounds more positive. It's like,
Hmm.
you know, I'm it it to me, if I was in that situation, I feel like it would just lift that weight off my shoulders and the responsibility is gone of, you know, having that to forgive, you know, somebody, you know,
Yep.
and I could just move on myself, you know. And there's a
Right.
lot of there's a lot of people out here that they sacrifice themselves for other people and don't see themselves. It's always I want to help somebody else, I want to help somebody else, I want to help somebody else. And they're so drained of energy, it's just they're always negative, but they feel like in helping somebody else, they're getting positive energy, but they're really not, you know, because it's draining them of energy because they're always helping somebody. And then you know, when people come to them for help, oh, people are always asking for, but you're giving the help, you know what I'm saying? And you don't see
Hmm.
yourself in any type of light, but a helping hand for somebody, you know, and you don't put yourself first. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't do. I didn't either put myself first. You know, it was always the relationship. It was always helping somebody. And it's like, you know, you need to do for Manny now, you know. So
Right. But Manny, where do you create the balance in that? Because even though those that's all true,
hmm
there's still a certain balance that I think we all still forget. Because then
right,
we get to the other side of that, right? And then we're like, because I totally understand. Like we get to the other side, and then we're coming off as like this selfish person or this
right,
recluse, right? So where do you create the balance from that, knowing that you've created new boundaries because you've understood, you've been over there, you've experienced certain things, and so now you're like, okay, I don't like that, and I like that, and I don't know about that one, but I might be able to explore it, but still being able to still give, because God doesn't want you not to give anymore. God just wants you to create balance on giving out and giving within. Where are you making sure that you're protecting yourself as you're giving? Where are your boundaries? Where are you, like, literally, this is why I love crystals. Like, I fell in love. I mean, if my place wasn't so disorganized, I would show. I love crystals, and anywhere I go, I'm like traveling with crystals. They had to put my bag to the side because I have a bag full of freaking crystals. They're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's a huge selenite wand." It's like, I don't understand. It's to help me pass through this damn TSA. Like, it's so beneficial when you truly dive deep in it, and it can just be little things, but that's also a really good way to like protect your energy and deflect negative energy or unwanted energy, if you will.
I totally
Food for
understand.
thought. Food for thought. I love it. Yes. Ms. Caldwell, so you are also a model, right? So tell us, how did you dive into the world of modeling? How did you get into the world of modeling?
OMG. Okay. First of all, I tried when I was younger. Moved to New York when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, let me just try this out. Like, this is cool. That was when you go door to door to people and give them your resumes, and it didn't pan out. I got scammed a couple of times. Then I got pregnant, and so I was like, all right. So then I created all these weird. I felt like I had a couple of lives since then, and so my lives, everything was kind of like jumbled. I had a whole family for almost 9 years, and it was a lot. So I just kind of like gave outward, just gave to whatever they needed. I knew that I could do it because it was no issue for me. So fast forward to 2020. I don't remember when it was. It was when I moved to North Carolina. I got scammed again. I tried it again. I've always gone somewhere and tried to get into like modeling or acting or something. Got scammed. A bunch of us did. And then that's where Amber came in and said that she was going to put on her own fashion show. And she was like, anybody who, because we all got scammed. And so she was like, whoever wants to do it with me can, like, it's no cost. So we did it. I did it. And it was super fun. I was like, ooh, this is fun and fancy. Like, oh, I get to like play a part. It's like acting to me. And then nothing happened for like 5 years. It was completely like dark, nothing, right? And then all of a sudden, Amber had a reunion, a 5-year reunion. And she invited me back to the show for a reunion for all the ones that were her very first show. I was like, of course, I'm not doing anything out of a really weird, bad relationship right now. Like, I'm doing me. Like, yes, like, it's all like I'm in that humbly selfish mode. Like, I get to choose whatever I want to do right now. Let's do it. I was like, cool, I don't care. I'm not worried about anything. Like, I'm just acting. It's cool. I get there, I do the show, it's a fun show, and then Mr. Eric Romello sees me. And he's in the back, like, guiding the models and stuff like that. And I'm just watching him. I'm like, this man is crazy. He's like putting everybody in their positions and places. I was like, okay. And then I'm about to walk out, and Mr. Eric says, girl, you better work them shoulders. And I promise you guys, he knows this. It was my shoulders, my collarbone, and this little area of mine. Like, this is my like little secret obsession of my own, like on my own body. Like, I love this part of me. Like, I will show it off and whatever. And I was like, how does he know? okay, he might be onto something. And I just went out there and shredded my stuff. And I asked, somehow was a designer in the show as well. I just wanted to put pieces on people to get my pieces out there. But a couple days
Mhm.
before the show, Amber was like, no, you have your own segment. I was like, wait, I do? Oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this. I didn't expect this. I'm like twisting like the last 3 days and before the show and I'm at the show putting pieces together and everyone's like, let's just leave her alone. She looks really focused and it all executed well. And it was a really fun experience. And I followed Joy. And Mr. Eric and Alma came up to me and was like, hey, give us a call the next day because we want to work with you and we want to put you in some more shows. And I was like, okay, this is great. Like I'm 40 years old. You're making me feel real good right now. Like let's do it. And it just went on fire since then. He just put me in so many freaking shows, so many different opportunities started to come up. Next thing I know, and I'm in the show in May, and then by September I'm in New York Fashion Week and like 2 to 3 shows. Like, what? This is bananas. So it's fun. And now people it's just so that's how I like jumped in there. God was just like, I know you've been doing some weird things, but it's okay. I'm so glad you chose you now, and here you go. Like I feel like this is my reward, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
Most definitely.
beautiful. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So we could be talking all night. So we're definitely
I
gonna
Oh,
have
told
to have
you.
for part two, ma'am. No,
yeah.
because this is great. Like I'm having a hard time trying to stop, but I know we're like overtime, so it's like I need to stop.
Right.
But we have to bring you out for part two because I feel like there's so much that I'm sure me and Manny want to ask you that we haven't had a chance to ask you. But due to time, it's like it happens like that. When you're having a good time, it goes like that, like and
I
then
love
that's
it.
it. So we're now approaching the last minute words or the segment where we share last minute words, social media handles, anything you want to share with the audience. And this is the part that Manny usually leads us. And then you will go next, Miss Caldwell, and I will go last. So
Okay.
Manny,
Of
take on.
course.
There you go.
Yes, he always loves to go last. So, as I usually say, never let the fear of failure overcome the righteousness of success. Um, it's just been the energy is so positive right now. Like it's just I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you. Like we've all been through so much in our
Mhm.
lives, and we've let um, the fear of failure stop us from achieving, any type of goal or just following our dreams. Um,
Mhm.
you can't let that happen. You have to just keep going. Like
Hmm.
I'm one, because I used to do that. Like I can't do it. It took me almost 15 years to publish my book because I was like, ain't nobody gonna like this book. And I put it out there and I haven't looked back. This has been an amazing journey. Has there been bumps in the road? Of course, every time. But just the passion and the love that I have for what I do keeps me going and keeps me consistent. So those of you that feel like you can't or you shouldn't, or you have negative people in your life that's saying, that's not right for you, just, keep going at your job because that's a secure paycheck. Take that first step and you will never regret it. Never regret it. So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, authormanmorales.com. My model page is Manny Morales 1824. My custom design page is Papi Chulo Creations. I have these t-shirts and the hat. And I just do different designs. I do graphic design. So like, if you have an idea, I could put it on a shirt, hoodie, hat. I could put on a tumbler, whatever. So, Love is Our Magic, the trailer coming soon. I can't wait. And Love is Our Magic, the series right after that. So, yes. So, Mrs. Caldwell, give our viewers some inspiration and tell them where they can follow you.
Okay. I want to sort of segue off of Manny, if that's okay.
Sure.
It's so first, I thought of something as we were here earlier in grace over forgiveness. So I think maybe if us out there and me could just really sit with that phrase for a little bit, grace over forgiveness. I think that would really help shift you out of some negative mindsets and probably release some tension within your body.
Right.
And that's a feeling, that release of tension is a feeling that we go after. That's the God spirit. That's joy. That's freedom. That's enlightenment. That freeness. I am the first person to say quit your job. Okay. Quit your job. I'm not saying to quit your job. Nobody, because I don't need no
I was
one.
about to say, hold on
Here
a
to Give
minute.
Hope has. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying choose you. You
Right.
know, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do when I was about to have my spine surgery. I was a contractor. I had to, what were they weren't going to hire me back. I was just a number, you know? And so I had to make a, a brave decision. And I know that when you make a brave decision, that God rewards you. And I feel like it's, sometimes we just have to remember to be consistent. I think we talked about that earlier as well. It's just being consistent in knowing your truth, knowing the truth, and remembering your faith and trust is really the word I wanted to use was trust. It's just trusting and being intentional and trusting that since you're being intentional, the things that are being given to you and dropped in your face and you're being guided towards, and the downloads that are being created in your head and the dreams that you're having, all these things are happening for you. And just to be able to grasp onto them and choose you, nothing will ever phase you. Ever. Like things happen, like we said earlier, like you guys said earlier, things happen. It's gonna happen. But it's how we move through them that truly I feel, and I feel like we all feel here, truly matters is how we move through them. And if we just move through them with grace for everyone and yourself, I really feel like we won't hold on to so much for so long. So grace over forgiveness and choose you, choose you. So yeah, you can find me anywhere at Here to Give Hope. It's Here to Give Hope with the number 2. My website is Here to Give Hope at GoDaddySites.com. But I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. I'm not a huge social media person, sometimes, because I choose me. So I might fade off for a little bit. But I am very responsive when it comes to communicating. That you want to send me a message, I'm going to talk to you. You can email me at here2givehope@gmail.com. You can find me at Here to Give Hope. I've stolen the name. It's just mine.
I
I don't
love
really
it.
see it too many places.
That's beautiful. I love it. Yes.
That's awesome. What about you, Yessie? What do we
Yes. So
Yes,
I want to
Mr.
say thank
Nancy.
you to all the listeners and viewers tonight. And thank you for all who engaged with us. We love it. Yes, it's truly amazing. Thank you, Ms. Caldwell, for being our special guest. This is not the last time because we're definitely going to have you on for a part 2 because there's so many questions that I wanted to ask you, but obviously time got the best of us. But nevertheless, it is A-okay. We will have you at a part 2 at a later date this year.
Okay,
So once
good. I have my cards ready and everything.
we can coordinate and then we can take it a step forward. We can keep peeling the onion because that's what we love to do here. We're building, right? And so that's what we do. We always bring back guests for a second part because that's just how it is. There's so much to life. And again, this is what Hoy en Día is, a bilingual lifestyle show.
Right.
And we talk about every and anything, de todo un poco, because life is about every and anything. It's not just black and white. It's black, white, gray, red, purple, pink, blue, yellow, all the colors, green, And so that is what Hoy en Día is, to motivate, enlighten, inspire, entertain, and educate you with each and every episode. So we've done that today. Yes, we have. Shout out to the sponsors. We have Collective Wear as a sponsor, author Manny Morales and Papi Chulo Productions, as well as Divine Beauty and Accessories. Stay tuned. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear. Sponsored by
author Manny Morales. Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy en Día TV, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. All right. And for those who want to be a sponsor at Hoy en Día, we do offer sponsor packages. I have the email at the bottom of this view here, hoyendiatv@gmail.com. This is a worldwide platform. People view us and listen to us via podcast stations all over the world. So your business, whatever you have to say, is going to be worldwide. Trust and believe. This is a worldwide platform. So you are in good hands. Yes. And also, for those who want to work with me, I do acting and model coaching. I'm actually posting the link now to where you can find that. Go under yessierodriguez.com. Work with Yessie Rodriguez. So I offer 30-minute and hour packages for those individuals who just want to get serious and you want to be in the business, whether it be acting and modeling. I've been in the industry acting since age 11, modeling since age 14. I can give you the ins and outs. So coaching one-on-one, there is a coupon code at the top part of my page. You can save some money if you choose to. Hey, this is a new year, so it's time to invest in yourself. And yeah, let's see where you go, right? Work with Yessie Rodriguez. Also, you can Google me if you want to know who is Yessie. Google Yesse Rodriguez. You'll find out who I am. I mean, hey, I've gotten to that point in my career where I can proudly say I'm Googleable. So, hey.
Googleable.
Googleable. And not only Googleable, you can find me on Internet Explorer. You can find me on Safari. You can find whatever your favorite internet browser is. Search Yessie Rodriguez. I mean, hey, thanks be to God, right? Yes. But yes. And last but not least, like I always say, don't think of it as the sky's the limit. Scratch that from your mind, because there is a Kármán line, which is the boundary between the Earth's atmosphere and outer space, which is 62 miles above sea level. So every time you tell yourself the sky's the limit, you're technically putting a barrier and a boundary with your limitations. So a quote that I created back in 2011, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. Thank you all for tuning into Hoy en Día TV. Until next time.
Yes. Bye.